Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the TechIT podcast. It is April 29th of 2022, and today we got a packed show here that we've gathered from what the mainstream news may not have covered, but in this case, they might have covered one of them for sure, with certain figures in mind, and with some of those being such headlines such as Elon Musk buying Twitter, AMC using Dogecoin at the movie theaters, Netflix currently losing stock and subscribers for the first time in a long time, over a decade, a customer backing going up against Apple in Brazil, and many more in the realm of emerging technology that we can find on only platforms such as the rising world that is the good side of TikTok. And here with me is Mike, as well as your co-host, myself, Gregory. Mike, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How you doing this week, Greg?
I'm doing pretty good. It's getting hotter here up in the Midwest, and it's welcoming, to say the least, I would say, compared to where you live, where it's constant.
Oh, it's beautiful down here. It was raining a bit ago, but I would have gone outside. It's like 80 degrees. It's nothing like a
And
warm rain, right?
yeah, definitely. And spe- speaking on the hot topics, not the store where your high school self got a bunch of clothes from. Not that hot topic.
Good one, though.
But the hot topic that is Elon Musk and Twitter. Now, this might be something that, again, the actual mainstream news actually covered, which is surprising because you usually ignore stuff like this, but what we cover here on the show. But they got enough of this because of the names in it. So I got this story early Monday afternoon when the sale actually occurred, and there's been different reactions to this, as Musk has said himself as a free speech abolitionist. So I'm not sure what that looks like yet, but there's a lot of speculation that it could go many different directions. But in briefing, this Axios.com piece says that Musk is effectively paying $54.20 per share and is personally responsible for around half of the financing, and that the rest comes via loans arranged by Morgan Stanley. No word yet on how he's managed to secure equity partners for this sale of around $44 billion in cash. Which is, I don't want to discount that that's a lot of money, but there's a lot of speculation again. Hopefully, I stop saying speculation.
Well, do you think this is a good move for him financially? I think the owners of the company really made away with the good end of the deal here, because I think social media companies are on the downswing, especially Twitter. I think things are going more towards, like, if you're going to invest right now, put your money in Snapchat or TikTok or like
hmm
anything except Twitter. I don't know. I'm not a big Twitter user or a big Twitter fan, but it feels
We're
like
both
something that's
not.
on the decline. So I know that he's trying to do. I know he said this is not a financial investment for him. This is more of a hey, we need a safe place for people to. He says, what did he say? Something about it being the town square, the social media town
Yeah,
square,
we
something like that.
covered last week back when it was speculative that he'd actually buy Twitter, but as time flies, he actually did. And I do kind of get his point that Twitter's the public square for things, as it was the site where people argued over a dress color, as
Yeah,
well as Twitter also helped.
pretty much.
It helps in like stupid stuff like that, as well as serious matters like giving outreach towards people in Ukraine, or the social unjust or the social justice efforts that uh, the movements that occurred just 2 years ago. Which that's all good. It's the moderation, which Musk says he'll put less of, that's got people also kind of fuzzy with this whole merger thing. even though Jack Dorsey, former CEO of Twitter, said that Elon is a single solution I trust, and that it's been taken back from Wall Street to a right step forward, as he puts it. Who Jack Dorsey again? He still has the ability to get a payout of not over $978 million. So don't think he's really suffering here, but he is still the CEO of Block, those little readers for your credit cards. That's what Jack Dorsey looks over right now,
Mm-hmm.
as well as great verifications for free speech, of course, which I can talk 3 hours about. But this isn't the Joe Rogan podcast where he lies indefinitely almost to get controversy and bank. But I'd have to see what Elon Musk means by free speech because we'll cover it later. But he did have a TED Talk also released this week that got a lot of traction because of this acquisition and more with him coming up as well in this podcast or in the future, definitely.
Right.
So,
Right. And I just to conclude this segment, I think Twitter is kind of one of those um it's just kind of one of those platforms that's more viable for like the rich and famous. And like sometimes you see people come up out of nowhere and become popular because of it. But I think really the real traction and I think the real good that came out of Twitter is kind of like, hey, when Ukraine was like, hey, we need satellites because we don't have internet or whatever. That was cool. Like,
mhm.
but that was between Elon Musk and like the president of Ukraine, right? That wasn't actually like it's not really helping the little guy, at least as far as I've seen. So I think I don't think this is the platform that the average individual can benefit from. It's more
Not
about
anymore. It used
yeah.
to be.
So I think that's why kind of a lot of people are shying away from it. But let's go ahead and jump into our next segment here. It's about Dogecoin. Did you want to get into that for a little bit?
That's one thing AMC is not shying away from is that Dogecoin seemingly, which again, frankly, I've said it before, I don't get into cryptocurrency. The most I've gotten to it was when I got $5 free of Ethereum from PayPal one day. So if you get a promo that looks like that, people, then you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I don't own Dogecoin going forward and saying that, but um, and I do have AMC theaters near me that I still go to and trust, but I don't know what this particularly does.
Well, as someone that has mined crypto and looks to grow in the crypto space, I think this is good. Like overall for just the availability and just kind of just paving the way for um new possibilities in crypto and ways to spend your crypto, which is always nice because like right now it's kind of like you sell it, you trade it, and then you sell for like the American dollar. But if you didn't have to sell your crypto and have those extra steps in there, which right now it can cost you a fair bit of crypto just to like trade it or sell it or whatever. Which they
Right,
call it they call it gas prices is what they call it. So it charges you a little bit for you to like transfer it or like to sell it or whatever. So it costs you a little bit of crypto to use it. So right now, if you can just straight up use it, I think this is great. If you want to use your crypto and buy some movie tickets, I think that's a really good idea, and it just paves the way for other cryptocurrencies to open the doors for something like that too. So I
yeah,
think
as
overall
well
that's
as
going
like
in the
the
right direction.
accessibility.
Hmm.
Because help you all get a scope of this, The Verge put it lightly by saying a matinee screening of the movie Sonic the Hedgehog 2 and a large popcorn drink combo would cost 213.54 roughly. I'm rounding here, Dogecoin. So the exchange rate of that would be Let me just put it in here. A Dogecoin is effectively 13 cents. So $28.78 approximately what that would cost. So for all you people that do own Dogecoin out there and have at least 30 Dogecoin to spend on Sonic 2 and a popcorn and drink this weekend, then you're in luck that this is happening. But the regular concerns arose from this, Mike, of course, such as the environmental concerns and the amount of people in the, let's say, traditional market that are worried that this alternative currency can turn corrupt, which we've seen just last year it being used in ransomware attacks. But time will tell with this because I'm not seeing crypto take over things that much besides this, a credit card ad I saw the other day where you'll get free Bitcoin and rewards and interest. I forget what the name of the card is, but that's an avenue. As well as I think Burger King, you can get free Bitcoin if you spend $15, I think, at one point.
Oh, cool.
Which I don't frequent that place either. I'm more of a Rally's Arby's guy. So
Oh, I remember Arby's. That was good
I
stuff.
don't know how to
I mean,
sum this all together here, but it'll keep things interesting, and we'll cover the latest in crypto being used in the latest industries such as AMC or maybe even gas. Who knows? But going from movies to streaming, we have Netflix, who has been recently tanking online lately, as it's cracked down on many different things you may have seen or heard about from other people online, such as Netflix losing subscribers, as well as I heard today they are laying off some editors because of the stock price dropping,
that's not good.
which is no, it's not good for Netflix because they cracked down on password sharing earlier this month in April, which people were not a fan of, and they also increased the price of just the base Netflix subscription to I think over $10, as well as contemplating having a subscription model that has ads in it, which would effectively make it like Hulu right now. So
Well, I understand why people are
it's
leaving.
I get why people are leaving. Like my sister even contemplates leaving.
I would leave too. I don't have a subscription, but my family does, so I just use theirs because we're all
Exactly.
account. And I'm just like, well, this is like, why would you set it up so that your whole family can use it, and then like, kind of like be like, oh well, password sharing is not cool.
Yeah, they're saying that it's effectively gonna soon be one account, one user.
Yeah, it sounds very greedy right now, and like I don't know why they changed things.
Yeah. I mean, Netflix says it lost 600,000 customers across the US and Canada that they
Good.
supposedly say was due to the rise in price only, which, sure.
Supposedly. Well, here's the thing: you vote with your dollar, and if you don't like what the company's doing, then you take your dollar away. And if the company dies because of it, then it's because they made a bad decision, or they need to. So I think what Netflix needs to do here going forward is reduce their price. And I don't know. So I understand that you don't want like 10 different families using the same password and login and all that. So I
Yeah.
understand that. But, like, I think it should be like, hey, if your dad owns a Netflix account, like, all your kids should be able to play or you get on and watch, whatever they want on your Netflix account as long as they all, like, are within the same family. So I think and, like, it's kinda hard to, like, regulate, right? Because, like, what if your kid's in college, right? And it's not like you can be like, "Oh, yeah, this IP is, like, across the United States to the other side of the United States, so maybe they're just sharing passwords." So, like, yeah, so if they're in college, it's kinda hard to, like, "Oh, is this someone that's in college or is this someone sharing passwords?" So how do you regulate that? It's kinda iffy. I think from someone who's buying it point of view, you're like, hey, just leave it open to everybody. Like if they trust that person enough to share their account with them, then it should be cool. But from a business standpoint, like you're losing tons of money by doing that. So honestly, I would
Yeah.
just kept the price low. If they're definitely going to crack down on like password sharing, they should have reduced the price just to compensate. Be like, yo, we understand that like maybe some people got wrongfully banned or whatever, their IP gets wrongfully banned, or I don't know how they're going about it, but maybe they have to like deal with some kind of wrongful ban or whatever. They should reduce the price. It doesn't have to be a lot. It doesn't have to be a big price reduction. It should be like to reflect that they're catching people, they're catching the bad people, the people that are abusing it, and that they're making more money because of it. You know?
Yeah, because this is gonna be the last time we cover Netflix. I'm assure you, pe- listeners out there, this won't be the last time we cover Netflix. But with the idea of ad supported plans being put in streaming services from the likes of Hulu, Disney Plus, considering one, as well
Yeah.
as
Remember?
Netflix here.
I don't know if you remember this, but when Hulu came out, it was completely free. It was completely free. You just had to watch an ad, right?
Yeah,
And then they
like
switched.
one at the beginning.
Yeah, you had to watch an ad, and then you could watch for free. And I'm like, that's a perfect system because that way you can make money off of advertising, and people like
Hmm.
don't have to spend huge chunks of change to watch their favorite shows or just Hulu specific shows or whatever. And I'm like, this is a great system here that you guys set up here. And then they got greedy, and people started like, I mean, maybe for a hook to a specific Hulu like show or whatever, then you stayed. But like, I think a lot of people left when they were like, "Oh no, you have to pay for Hulu at all." Like, even if you want to watch like anything on Hulu, you have to pay for it.
Like the Eric Andre show, Adventure Time, Rick and Morty,
Yeah.
uh,
So
The Handmaid's Tale.
I think Hulu has an opportunity here. They're like, "Oh yeah, if Netflix is dying, maybe we should revert some of our ideals here and go back to
Take
the
the opportunity.
yeah, take the opportunity. Like, hey, let's reduce our prices. Let's make things more available to people that have like maybe lower incomes.
And summer
Maybe we
discount.
can open our account sharing to, like, the immediate family. I don't know how Hulu does it anymore, but, like, I think it's
This is a
just a
family plan. I know that.
it's a family plan? Okay. So, yeah, I think they have some potential to get ahead here. And so do the other streaming services. So, it'll be interesting to see what happens. So,
Definitely.
should we jump into the next article here on, the iPhone?
Yeah, so kind of going from one tech giant falling to another tech giant getting fined. We have here a story that I found on PCMag.com, which I recommend you all to subscribe to. Just great coverage in terms of devices, tech reviews, and goings on in the world like this. Like what we have here from Matthew Humphreys on PCMag.com, where a customer who sued Apple over lack of an iPhone charger in their package got actually money back in terms of $1,075. So to go into this, it was a sixth civil court of Goinalia. I'm pretty sure I'm not saying that right. Where they effectively tied this sort of misuse for not having a charger with the smartphone as it ties to an Article 39 of the Consumer Code in their country, which prohibits tie sales. And by tie sales, they mean a situation where you're purchasing a product and it requires another to function with it. So they put two and two together to make four and four here to say Apple did something wrong here. It breaks what we have here in our Article 39. So time to get fined. So not that this is a big fine for Apple to pull out $1,075 out of their pocket, but we've covered up multiple times Apple paying up fines for malpractice and data breaching across the EU, which I'm really thinking about moving to the EU personally down the line because they care more about your personal data not being shared. But regardless,
Well, it's good to see that um it's not just the little guy getting screwed over. Like he got some money for it, and Big Daddy Apple wasn't like, "Screw you," you know?
I'm gonna keep collecting. I'm
Yeah,
not giving
it
you
seems
money.
like if in many instances or many situations, it seems like Apple's like, "Hey, let's get greedier and greedier." And our next article, or actually it's a TikTok, is actually it's just like a little TikTok about how Apple is kind of like scamming you. Just like how they keep removing like features and keep removing um so like where he starts off like, "Oh yeah, like remember when Apple like used to include the charger and the earphones with
Headphones.
yeah, the headphones with your device when it came in the package?" Well, what they did is they stopped sending the headphones with it, and they're like, "Okay, we'll sell this separately and make more money." And then they stopped putting ports in the iPhone, right? They're like, "Oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
well if you want to listen to your music, you have to either get Bluetooth or you have to buy a dongle." So like, well, they're just making more money off the dongle, right?
Yep.
It's a very greedy. It feels like a very greedy way to go, right?
They're
I've
also
never
messing
been
with the right to repair.
right, and the right to repair, all that. It feels like a very greedy standpoint. They have a very greedy or outlook. I know that they're trying to push. Like I understand from this perspective, they're trying to push the future. Like they're trying to push people away from the corded earbuds into wireless earbuds or Bluetooth earbuds or whatever, which I'm all for. But it feels like the way they're doing it is very greedy.
Yeah, it's less transparent and more of
Right.
like a way of saying like directly, oh no, you're not getting that with your $1,000 phone we're already upcharging you on.
Right.
You're
They
gonna
they're
get that separately,
Apple
and it may
doesn't
not even
need
be at
more
that
money.
store.
They already have too much money. They're like um they're making these phones that for like probably like I don't know hundreds of dollars, and then selling them for thousands of dollars. And it's like, well, what's the point if it does the same thing as another brand? So
Hmm.
they're already upcharging you on this, and then they're like, hold on, let's upcharge you on something else that you have to buy separately now. It just feels very greedy and very scammy. So I'm not on board with that. But let's jump into a more positive note with the next TikTok, which is something that I'm a big fan of here. It's the air to water Cara Pure. So this is a device, uh, not a personal device, which I was hoping that you could go ahead and actually hold on. So here's what it does. It takes the water out of the air, filters it.
Hmm.
It filters the water and the air, and it puts the water back out, or and the air back out. But they're both filtered, both, and the water's purified. So you can drink the water and you can breathe the air, and you don't have to worry about like pollution and like it's all in one device. It's this small little it's kind of like the future water cooler. So if you have a business, you put this in your office, you put this I want this for my house. This is beautiful. So it purifies the air, cleans the takes the water there, cleans it, and then you can just drink it. And I looked this up because I was really interested in getting one of these, and they're like a little over what's that, over 3,000,
Three thousand
3,500.
four nine nine.
Yeah, $3,499. But like, if you think about it, this might be worth it even for the individual. If you have, like, let's say you can't drink your tap water. If your tap water is not drinkable, then this might be worth it because, like, you can plug this in and it works year round. You don't have to go to the store to get water. You don't have to worry about, pollutants in your air. It's a two-in-one system. Um, so yeah, you don't have to pay for so tap water. You pay a price, right, to get utilities into your home.
Yep.
So, like, this might be worth it to get this and put it in your house.
Very much so. Because even though we currently reside in the states where you can't get free water out there in the world always, compared to I think it was a city in France and most of France where they have free water bottles or like free water filling stations that the public can use. So we're
That's
saying
great.
water is a human right over there in Europe compared to
That's
America,
awesome.
where bottled water is $30.
If
So
you want good water, yeah.
I'm not I'm not saying that's greedy.
You can get cheap tap water over here, but it might have lead in it.
Yeah,
Um,
and there's areas in the world here in the country that can't even get water as well. So
and here's another good thing for it. So if you get this, you don't have to worry about like if you go to the store, you see those like giant gallon jugs of water, and a lot of people pick those up. I had a friend that his water
yeah,
was bad out of the tap, right? So it wasn't drinkable. So he would have to get those gallon water jugs from the store and bring them home. And like every time you get those, I think some places have like a refill station where you can refill those jugs, but some places don't, right? So like every time you do that, you're using a new jug, and that's just a waste. That's a waste for plastic. That's a waste for going to the store and getting. Even if you're refilling it, it's a waste of gas, whatever. So I think there's just a lot of positives to this product and not a lot of negatives. Um, I can't even think of any negatives besides the price. So yeah, big fan of this one.
we'll definitely look at more emerging topics like this one going forward that are both beneficial for you, but for humankind because while everyone else is fighting out there over dresses, dress colors, and I don't know, like the little things. It's emerging tech like this that gives me hope for when I'm 40 and kind of start to hate life.
Oh my
That at
gosh.
least my water will be clean and available
At
for
least my
all to have.
water and air, right? You can't knock it.
Yeah,
Um, like right now, I just buy a bunch of houseplants to clean my air. So if I have this, I might not have to buy as many houseplants. Of course, I do love the houseplants. But let's go ahead and jump into our next TikTok here. I'm a big fan of this one. This one's kind of cool. Um, this TikTok has to do with a company that wants to put wheels on everything. What are your thoughts on that?
uh, as someone that just got a car, which I'm very thankful that I got a car in today's market, but having wheels on a lot of things that
Let me
hasn't come
reiterate
up in
that.
like a
It's not
as
just
an
wheels,
idea for
it's
me.
kinda like a motorized, kinda like robot kinda thing. So it's kinda pushing the envelope, like, what do you want put wheels on that, like, you don't wanna leave the room to go get? Maybe you can just call it to you. So what would you use this for?
Um, I don't want to say it's like the Wally universe where it could just give me anything I want. Like I've seen it have, I can see it having good use in the disabled community. Of course, that's the given goal that this
That's
can
your
be
given.
for.
But, like, let's say you had this, like, you're testing out this product and, like, they give it to you, like, what would you wanna put it on?
You can say that people can put it on just like custom machines, like to make your own lawnmowers, or just like let's see, like I don't know,
For this,
automatic
I'm thinking
tables.
on my table is nice. I'm thinking like the TV. Like if I want a TV in another room, I want to call it. I'd be like, "Yo, I'm going to
Oh
take
yeah,
a
that's
shower."
a
You just call the TV in, and they're like, "Oh, you're watching Netflix," or I guess not Netflix. I guess it'd be Hulu now, right? You're just watching it while you're in the shower. Then you're like, "Okay, I'm done watching. Go." Or maybe someone else calls it, and like, go to them or whatever. That'd be kind of cool.
yeah. You
Um,
can put like a tablet on there.
yeah. Um, what else would be good? See, I don't see a lot of functions for this. Maybe a light, like maybe you need to see something, you just call it. You have like a lamp. Um, I think that's to be more like an industrial thing, right? Like maybe your tool chest, put that on wheels, and you can call your tool chest to you.
Yeah, like your toolbox,
Right. Throw your tool
maybe like
box on
a
top of this.
fridge, mini fridge.
Oh man, actually, I like that. I like that. Maybe you don't get up to get a beer. You call a beer to you, right?
Yeah, or
Oh
a
man.
beanbag chair.
Yeah.
Turn it
Oh,
into a
being
lounge
maker,
chair.
not a bad idea. So yeah, oh man, you could go anywhere with this. You could be like, oh yeah, I need a chair over here. You just call the chair over. But yeah, I think this has a lot of potential. It's just something I wanted to mention. Um, did you catch the name of the company? I forget what the company name was. Was it
Hyundai?
Hyundai? I don't know if I'm saying that right.
Does he mean Hyundai?
I think it's Hyundai. But yeah, if you wanna learn more about that story, go ahead and check it out. It's just really cool, and I think it's really makes you think of, like, what would you put this on? I really like the fridge idea. Like, put a mini fridge with some beer in it. Oh, man. Okay, yeah, so let's go and jump into the next this is another robotics, topic from TikTok. This is, the Elon Musk, the Tesla? The Tesla bot, right?
Yeah. This makes me like the wheel idea a bit
Feel
more
like
in terms
feel
of
like I'd rather
like
have a wheel.
accessibility tech. Because I don't know how open people are to just having another body that looks like a robot, like a full fledged body, like around.
Kinda creepy, right? Like,
Yeah,
it looks okay, so I'm gonna describe it for you, hold on, for the listeners. It's just like an all white body, but from, like, the shoulders up, like, it looks like it's all black, right?
yeah.
Maybe this is an early design, but, like and it's got, like, a really smooth, like, body, it doesn't look very I mean, it's humanoid, but, like, it's so smooth, it's just
It's
kinda
not
creepy.
Chad. You're saying?
It's kinda creepy how smooth it is, but I kinda like the idea of having, like, an AI that I could just kinda, like, tell to do stuff around the house, like, "Go make me a sandwich," or, like, I don't know, just having,
Oh
like,
no.
"Bring me the remote." I don't know,
What
maybe I'm just
implications? Like
is this too lazy?
I don't. It's not about lazy. It's about accessibility. But
I
also,
think it'd be
I can
great for the
see this having.
accessibility
I
community,
wonder if
yeah.
I can see having ramifications for the military.
Well, they're saying that it's a really it's supposed to be a practical, it's not supposed to be for military use. It's supposed to be, like, really light, really weak, like, it's mostly supposed to be, like, something that,
I
like,
mean,
gets you stuff and, like, tidies
yeah.
up and, like, it's kinda like a little maid kinda bot, just kinda do basic things. Um,
For
like
dimensions, it's 5'8", 125 pounds.
right. And I think they talked about this in the TED Talk, right? They were talking about, like, would this replace the
Yes.
workforce? And, um, I don't think it would right away. And Elon Musk was like, "Oh, yeah, there's a lot of people out there that or a lot of companies that just don't have the workforce, they don't have enough people." Um, but there's also a ton of people out there that don't have jobs. So, I think this would ultimately I just agree with him on this. I think this would ultimately replace a lot of jobs out there. I think it's
Yeah.
good that it would replace a lot of unsafe jobs or a lot of boring jobs, and it
Like,
would
I think it would be good with mining jobs. I don't know if
yeah,
people are still mine, but
yeah, they're mining. There's unsafe mining jobs. There's hazardous jobs. There's jobs where people have to go down in the
chemicals.
sewers and, like, yeah, chemicals. Oh my gosh, this would replace a lot of very unsafe jobs. Um, so I think it has a lot of potential, especially in those areas. But I think this would definitely force people into, like, other jobs, like, harder jobs, more complex jobs. Like, I think there would have to be more programmers and more engineers and all kinds of stuff. So I think there would be a loss of jobs initially, but I think they would find jobs elsewhere. So there's this is really hard to see the future on this because uh, as a company owner, I see this as a potential one time investment, and then long term, it would pay off really well long term. Of course, we don't know what kind of like maintenance this would need. Like, would this need a ton of maintenance? That's a question I would have for like if I was buying this as a company that like maybe I have someone that works on an assembly line and I want to replace them. Like, would this
Yeah.
spot need a ton of maintenance? Would it need upgrades? Would it need part replacements? Um, I think ultimately it would be cheaper than paying a person for their labor and then paying benefits and all that. And there's just so many questions and so many unanswered questions here. So I think this is something that we have to keep an eye on and see what happens.
Right. And continuing on here, I'm having trouble opening this next one.
Oh,
Um,
this the ice turbine for the TikTok. Yes, this is really cool. It's basically
so
like a wind turbine, right?
yeah, the account you can follow on TikTok for some of these is called future_explored. But in essence, I know next to nothing about wind power. I've got an uncle that's heavy into wind power, who's currently recently got unemployed. So if you're out there listening, uncle, don't worry, it gets better. You'll find something. But yeah, this is innovative, especially at the climate of ice wind.
So
You would say,
I'm a big fan of alternative energies here. And the video goes on to talk about it like, hey, you need a couple of these to power your home, which if you're living in a really windy area, like maybe a mountainous area or like I don't know, something someplace that gets a lot of wind, and you'll know if you get a lot of wind in your area. Like if you live close to a beach or like I would definitely say anything high elevation. Um uh so you could get a couple of these and like, power your house or like especially if you're far away from like the grid. I think this is a really great option. Uh and they say it's really low maintenance. And wind power is one of the cleanest forms of power, especially with how small this is. A lot of people worry about with wind power, like wildlife, like especially birds. Birds will fly into the blades, and
yeah,
this is small. This is not up high. It's close to the ground. I want to say it's like a couple feet off the ground,
I would
and
say so. Not even 3 feet.
not even 3 feet off the ground. So it it harnesses wind from any direction. So even if like you don't have to like worry about facing a certain direction because it'll spin whatever direction the wind's blowing. So I think it's great, especially for people that want to live off the grid or just want to supplement someone like not have to pay a huge electricity bill. I think it's a great clean energy, and I think it's definitely something to keep an eye on.
And then for
Um,
more pieces of emerging technology here, we got an update on how Elon's going to come up with a phone. And like we mentioned before previously in a more speculative post on Elon making a phone that he's calling the Pi phone, it's uh, it's going to have solar power, like we mentioned before. It confirmed it. And it's, I guess, going to change color
right,
over
it's supposed to
time.
have. So like, what happens is you can change the
Yeah.
color. So you can change it to whatever color you want. So you no more worried about like, oh, I want this color phone or whatever. You can just be like, "Oh, I'm gonna change it to this color today." So,
As
the
well as,
some of the great features of this phone is, uh, just I think the start of the show is definitely the solar power thing. But, like, it's gonna be able to mine cryptocurrencies, you're gonna have it's gonna be a so it's a solar phone, like, you or not solar phone, it's a satellite phone. You can connect anywhere on Earth, and if you're moving to Mars,
your
or if
only
you're trying to
satellite.
move to Mars, there'll be satellites on Mars, so you'll be able to connect to the satellite via Mars. And just call people there too. So, um, a lot of great features coming our way. And I have another video here about about the camera on the Pi phone, and they're just talking about all the features and how it's got 4 lenses. You don't have to worry about it focusing, and you can just point at the sky and take your picture. Um, you can record video and take pictures at the same time. So there's a lot of features from these TikToks about the PiPhone. So, this is gonna be my daily driver, right? I'm ready. I'm like, here's my money. Take my money, Elon Musk. I want this phone, and not. And I mean, I say like all these features are great, but it's mostly for the solar power thing. 'Cause my phone it chews through battery. So, and I hate like having to carry my charger everywhere. And I know, and like I just had the battery replaced, and I still chew through the battery just because I'm always using it.
Hmm.
So yeah, they have Elon's got the market cornered here. Like this is the way to go. But like one of these TikToks is just it's not only the Pi phone. So there's a so this guy, what's the guy's name that does the TikToks? And let me pull it up. Or actually, Greg, do you have it up? I think it's Mikhail. Is it Mikhaili?
Yeah, I'll spell it out. It's a Mikayle 5.
Okay, yeah. So he does these TikToks and he kind of like gives you tech updates. So the next thing he talks about is a bath for your testicles.
It's not bad for the whole body,
Yeah,
eventually. So,
it's
uh,
mostly pregnancy prevention, right?
yeah, it's a new form of birth
Contraceptive,
control, I guess, where you actually put uh,
dangly
uh,
bits.
you put your testicles in this little bath, and it serves as like birth control for men.
Yeah,
As once every few months, you just uh, take a
they're
dip
claiming it lasts up
in the
to a month,
water.
which is crazy, right?
Yeah,
So it's
because
the way it
usually
works,
we're left with the condoms.
right? The way it works is it's uses ultrasonic waves
Yes.
to slow down your swimmers. So
Yeah.
I think this is an early technology. I don't want to like test it myself for a while and
Really early.
see what happens. But like, it's kind of
I'm
a
not
cool
testing
idea.
this when I'm with my.
What was that?
I'm not testing this
You're not
down the
testing it.
line
I
where it's
want
like, I would, honey, but hold on a second. I gotta take a bath.
to. That's funny.
There,
But I
there
think it's
is
a cool idea.
advances that are out now that can help. Like this company that makes brainwave controlling arms for
Oh
the
right, yeah, the
disabled
next
that
one.
runs on brain signals.
This arm on this TikTok looks like a, I don't know, like a C3PO. Am I saying that right?
Yeah,
C3PO, human cyborg relation. It looks like one of his arms, doesn't it?
it does. I mean, I bet George Lucas is coming down with their sledgehammer going like, "Hey, how dare you help disabled people with something that looks like something in my property?"
It's
That's not his vibe.
slightly looks like,
I've listened to him talk.
okay,
That's not
cool.
his vibe.
It slightly looks like they took C3PO's arm and attached it to like a brain device. And like
It's very compelling.
it's great for people that are like disabled and can't move around. So I think I'm a big supporter of this technology. Basically just you control this arm with your brain and you can pick stuff up and whatever. I'm like, that's great.
And
Um
then some. And our last
yeah.
two pieces today, we just want to again shout out the Elon Musk TED Talk that was uploaded this week as the time of recording. You can
All right,
find
you
it
guys,
on youtube.com.
exactly. Check it out. What's the title just so they can look it up?
It's called Elon Musk Talks Twitter, Tesla, and How His Brain Works at TED 2022.
Cool.
And our very last piece is about a technicality about a chip
All right,
that
the chip. So this is a small chip that people can use for, it's the ESP 82666 or 66 Wi-Fi chip.
yep,
And
Bluetooth enabled as well. It's
so
about the
Bluetooth,
size of a
Wi-Fi.
stamp.
Yep. Powered by a tiny battery. So this is a chip that can be used for malicious purposes. You can set it up in like a coffee shop and and like kind of like sniff out like unencrypted data and just kind of see what people are doing on there. So if people go into the coffee shop and you can set it up as like you can just like label it whatever you want. You can be like free Wi-Fi here, and then they can click on that, connect to the internet, and then like you can set up a jump page, like a jump off page where you click and be like accept whatever terms, and you can make it look like the coffee shop's page, um,
Yeah,
kind of like a form of phishing. And then once they accept the terms, they go in and use your Wi-Fi, and all the data goes through that chip, and you can see all the data. And if it's not encrypted, You can steal passwords if they're logging into accounts. You can steal credit card information if they don't encrypt it. So, like, this is just something I want you guys to look out for and make sure you're logging into the official, or using the official Wi-Fi for the coffee shop that you're going to. And another way to
Yeah,
protect yourself is to use a VPN, which encrypts the data over whatever Wi-Fi you're using. So getting a VPN set up on your computer or your phone or whatever is a great way to protect yourself.
yeah, and that's what I have as a takeaway message. I mean, personally, I would never use Wi-Fi at a coffee shop because I don't partake in coffee. But if you do have
Yeah.
to,
What
please
if you're
use a
there,
VPN.
like, on a date, like, getting a cup of tea? Because, like, coffee dates are a huge thing. Like, you just meet someone, you're like, "Well, let's go get a cup of coffee." And that's just kinda like the common vernacular that you just say. And, like,
Yes,
so you get tea or hot chocolate, whatever your poison is, and, you're like, "Oh, well, I should hop on the internet and check," I don't know, maybe you're scheduling another date or whatever, you're just checking your calendar, but you don't wanna use data because 'cause you're running out of data or whatever. So, it could be like you're just hopping on there real quick and logging into Google, and someone could just steal your Google login like that. So, you never know when you're at, like, a coffee shop if this is the right Wi-Fi, unless you ask. So, like, definitely ask and maybe use some encrypted browsers or get a VPN for your phone or so, like, there's so many situations that this comes into play. It's just good to be knowledgeable about the situation or what's going on.
and we hope that we helped you all be more knowledgeable with the latest tech headlines today. As we close off today's recording, we just like to thank you all again for listening to us. Feel free to give us a like, a share, a comment on whether platform we put this on: SoundCloud, YouTube, Buzzsprout. As we're an emerging podcast, we're roughly looking on a Patreon right now.